Howdy y'all, today we are going to be reacting to Who Said Supercars Can't Go Off-Road. Now, I'm probably guessing there is going to be a Lamborghini Storado somewhere in this video. Mostly because it's literally an off-road supercar meant for off-roading. But, let's start the video.
First, we got these big, lumpy SUVs meant to go around the tracks. And now, we have the other side of that oxymoronic coin. Supercars going
there's
off
one
the
already.
paved roads on purpose. Full-blown lunacy. Hey guys, Step here with a list of the top 7 best off-road supercars ever. They do be cool though. If you ask someone to draw you an off-road supercar, they'd probably come up with something like this. The Huracan Storado. Bravo. It's a mid-engine Lambo with a protective suit of armor, chunkier tires, and a longer traveling suspension. That's what she said. Add the all-wheel drive system from the regular model, and there you have it. A pimp mobile for those who like to get dirty. But how did we even come to this? Italian exotics used to be these highly stressed and fragile toys that would explode every second Tuesday in the month. What gives them a right to even think that they can survive in the rough and tough wilderness?
Saying that.
The Germans gave them the right. Lamborghini might be an Italian brand, but since the late 90s, it's been owned by Hans. So no more loosely fitted panels or 2-hour lunch breaks. No. The new Lambos are built the German way. First word. That right there is the main reason why the Storado can take quite a lot of beating and not fall apart. Other things that set it apart are a detuned engine that can survive longer in the red line and the lowest top speed of any Lambo on sale today. Now, those people who care only about the numbers, guys, by the way, will say it's the slowest Genie you can buy. But so what? It's still the most exciting one. Why else would it have a heart rate monitor, guys? Huh? Bunch of stopwatch-loving mother scumbags. Anyway, let's talk about the Porsche now. Although best known for their success on the smooth racetracks, they did nab a couple of dirt track victories.
Yeah, there is a couple rally
edition
Porsches,
when the
I'm pretty
untouchable
sure.
Audi Quattro came around, one thing was clear. Beating that Group B monstrosity will require an entirely new kind of car. An all-wheel drive off-road supercar of sorts, called the 959.
Yep.
This Ferrari F40 rival was initially developed to go rallying. That's why it's so full of innovative first-ever tech, like the system that can send power not only to all 4 wheels, but the fronts, rears, or lefts or rights, too. Basically, to whichever side has the most grip. Sequential twin turbocharging was another first, as well as the tire pressure monitoring system and the active suspension. Basically, what the GTR Godzilla did to the circuit racing, the 959 was set to do in rallying. Too bad that the Group B division was killed off before this thing was ready to compete. It would have been nice to see a German civil war of sorts. Porsche eventually did test its capabilities on an even more grueling race, the Paris Dakar Rally, where the 959 finished first and second. And then they made the road version that could go 197 miles per hour, all while losing little to none of its off-road talents. See that G on the stick shift? That stands for Gelände, which is German for terrain. And now you know why. Also, it would be very unprofessional of me to mention the Dakar without talking about the Morgan CXT. Yeah, I know you expected a 911, but that's just a toughened-up tribute to the 80s 953. Whereas the Morgan, now that's the real deal.
Wait,
it started
what?
its life as a regular Plus 4, a 2023 sports car that looks older than my granddad. But much like my Gramps, it had taken some Viagra to keep up with the youngsters. Viagra in this case being modern BMW engines and drivetrains. Then it was handed over to Rally Raid UK, a company that's been building Paris Dakar machines for the last 25 years, and this is the result. A road-legal survival vehicle. The CXT has more ground clearance, underbody protection, tires with big teeth in them, racks, tools, spares, extra fuel tanks, and the oh-so-obvious exoskeleton. Okay, that last one was more of a necessity, given that this and all of the other Morgans still have their body frames made out of wood. Like actual wood. So you can't really expect it to survive all the kicks and the jumps with something that splinters. Thus, this. It also serves as a makeshift storage solution of sorts. Since there isn't much cargo space available, you can just tie everything to dangle on the outside. Why not? The price of all these modifications? $240,000. That's
Damn.
nearly 3 times more than what you would pay for the regular Plus 4. A hard pill to swallow, but hey, did you really expect the proper Dakar spec to come cheap? Nope. But worry not, my fellow poor people, because Ariel has an exoskeleton off-road solution just for
these
you.
people
Remember
made the
Ariel?
Nomad.
Remember when they made that track-focused Atom? Thanks to a 300 horsepower Civic Type R engine and no weight to slow it down, this scaffolding-looking little thing is so fast that it can change your face. Atom was the purest driving experience you could get, and now there's an off-road version too. They call it the Nomad,
Yep.
and design-wise, there really isn't much to talk about. It looks like someone had put that Thunderdome structure from Mad Max in between 4 wheels, and that's about it. Now, I know what the haters will say. So, it's just a buggy. What's the big deal? Well, for once, this buggy is road legal, and more importantly, it's an aerial, through and through. The Nomad is just as much fun jumping over the dunes as it is playing around the racetrack. It hadn't lost any of its poise and finesse, despite a much softer and more forgiving suspension setup. Try doing the same thing in
I've
any
actually
other
been
dune
in
buggy,
one of these
and you'll
before.
want to
They're
spin
pretty
out on
damn
purpose
fun.
just to get off that smooth track. Not so with the Nomad. This thing will give you more fun per component than any other car in existence, no matter what surface you're on. Back to the world of rallying with the Lancia Stratos. It is the first ever car primarily built to go rallying, and when I say car, well, it's more of a supercar really. It's got a Ferrari V6 in the middle, a rear-wheel drive, and the design done by the same guy who did the Countach. Consider also the fact that the Stratos was extremely tiny, and you'll end up with something that's more agile than a hummingbird. That, by the way, is important when the roads you'll be driving on look like this. As a result, the Stratos would go on to win the rallying title in 1974, 1975, and 76 easily, and it stayed competitive for many more years to come. Like when it managed to beat the all-wheel drive Quattro in 1981.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that did happen. Naturally, there were 500 road legal versions too, because those are the rules. It's the law! And sure, the road engine was detuned by a lot. The only interior upgrade was hiding all the wires behind the dashboard. And check out the window mechanism. You slide this little thing along the arch, and that is the most you can open it. But this was all part of the experience. Stratos was built to be a rally car, and if you think that Lancia would apologize for not making it more practical, think again. And now for the polar opposite of the tiny Stratos. Gentlemen, let me present to you the absolutely ginormous Megatrack. As in, the company is called Mega, and the car is called Track. That's peak 90s edginess right there. Looking at these photos, this may seem like a regular-sized supercar with some extra ground clearance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. So hey, let me give you some comparison stats. The Megatrack is longer than the S-Class of its time, wider than the H1 Hummer, and if you raise the suspension all the way up, taller than the Porsche Cayenne. That's some proper beefcake right there. Because of this sheer size, there's more room inside it than in an average New York City apartment. Enough room, in fact, for a mid-mounted Mercedes V12 and a
It's
four-seater
got a
layout, too.
V12 in it.
This is the only
Jesus.
such car ever made. And if it was on sale today, I'm HIV positive that it would sell like crazy. What rich asshole wouldn't want a supersized supercar that pisses from above on absolutely everything else, on and off the roads? However, back in the 90s, there was no such thing as social media or the need to flex, which is why they managed to sell only 5. Oh well,
Only
on to the
5.
honorable mentions, of which there aren't any. To my knowledge, there are simply no more than 7 off-road supercars. But if you do know some, write them down in the comments. Alright, at number 1, it's that aforementioned Porsche 911 Dakar.
Damn bad.
I know, I said it's just a homage, but even so, this is the most complete, the most versatile, and the best off-road supercar there's ever been. For a decade or two, all 911s have been annoyingly good. I myself prefer the Italian exotics over these fast Beetles, but it's hard to ignore the facts, and facts don't care about my feelings. Porsches are tough, like military-grade tough. Reliable, practical, and no matter which one you choose, a 911 will always punch way above its price range. Now add to this mix the ability to conquer tougher terrain than most modern SUVs, and you have what's probably the most complete all-in-one dream car ever. Also, don't think that just because the car rides higher and has heavier armor plating, that it can't handle the racetrack anymore. According to Porsche engineers, it will still keep up with the 996 GT3 around the Nürburgring, and that's a track day car first and foremost. So yeah, it's still properly fast, alright, and I haven't even mentioned the best part yet. You can get the optional roof rack thingy that's full of Bear Grylls merch or whatnot, but my favorite thing is the tent that you can pitch on top as well. How cool is that? It's not just a track day car or a rally car, but a motorhome too. And as such,
sleep in a
this
bedroom,
911
I sleep
car
on
is
a
simply
Porsche.
in a class of its own.
Wow. So, like I said, I knew there'd be a Storado in there, but so let's actually watch another video because I don't want to make a short ass video. This one, because it has a charger. I was expecting to see something like that. 69 charger.
You don't want to see these in your rearview mirror. Hey guys, stop here with my list of the most villainous cars ever made. Let's go. Number 7. The early 90s were tumultuous times in Eastern Europe. Fall of communism, wars, unlawfulness. These were perfect opportunities for some well-connected mobsters to offer their services to the community, like giving out loans.
Such a lovely time.
And if you're not able to pay off the loan, which probably has 50% interest on it, you'll be seeing this, the E34 5 Series. This is not the boss coming to talk to you. Oh no, this is him sending his thick-headed, meat-fisted goons who do their talking by breaking your bones. A blacked-out E34 was a menace. When the West thinks of this car, they think of handling, performance, practicality. When East thinks of it, they think black leather jackets, gold chain with a crucifix, and a Kalashnikov. The design alone was on the border between sleek and evil, even before it started being associated with organized crime. It was faster than anything else in the ex-commie countries, but still large enough to fit 4 bruisers inside, plus you in the trunk. And like a psycho girlfriend, you won't be getting rid of it so easily. The 90s Beamer will be coming back again and again until the debt is fully collected, or you disappear. And there were only 2 ways to disappear: over the border to the west, or 6 feet below. Number 6.
I should probably put this on charger.
Hollywood loves to typecast. Need a tough, sexy chick? Angelina Jolie. A sputtering English gentleman? Hugh Grant. A super badass car doing unlawful things?
Charger.
Second generation Dodge Charger.
Fuck yeah.
Who could ever forget the famous chase from the movie Bullet, or the carnage in Death Proof, or all the chaos that brought in the Dukes of Hazzard? Blade, the vampire killer, drove one, and so did everybody's favorite family man, Vin Diesel.
Family.
I know there are other famous movie cars, but none of them has the star quality and the charisma that this one has. If you need a car that represents power, forget about the high-pitched Castrato supercars and go for the heavy metal that is the Charger RT.
I love it. I love it.
But why is it always on the wrong side of the law? Well, look at it. But also, this car was a bit of an outlaw in the real world as well. Thanks to its gigantic 440 V8 Magnum engine, named after the most powerful handgun in the world, a 1969 Charger was the first car to break the 200-mile-per-hour mark at NASCAR. It was so fast that the rules of the sport had to be changed in order to stop it from competing.
Yeah,
was
they
banned for
outlawed it.
being
It
too much,
sucked.
and that just cemented in its badass image. Also, it's called the Charger. What more do you need? Number 5. There's some deep-rooted criminal gene running through most Jags. Look at the XJ. You just know some unethical banker is riding in the back. Or the Mark II, which was such a good getaway car that soon after its introduction, bank robberies in England doubled. But my favorite bad Jag is the Mark X 420G. A saloon that shared many performance parts with the fastest car of the day, the E-Type. And I love the way it looks. By leaning the lines forward instead of backward, The designers gave it an attack stance, as if it's ready to pounce forward, just like that hood ornament. It looks absolutely scary despite that typical dose of British sophistication and suave. In the hands of the notorious Cray brothers, this car was a part of numerous murders, armed robberies, arsons, protection rackets, and assaults. If you lived in East London in the 60s and saw the 420G rolling around, you locked the doors and ducked under the table.
Oh shit, here we go again.
But as with all Jags, this one also had some strange power to make you likable. Despite their crimes, Ronnie and Reggie Cray were sort of celebrities. They ran a nightclub, appeared on the TV, and were often seen hanging out with politicians, singers, and actors. In short, the 420G is the ultimate get-out-of-the-jail car.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Sorry, Jesse.
Breaking Bad.
Number 4. I bet you weren't expecting this, but the numbers don't lie. The U.S. police force kills a lot of people. And for that reason, when they see a Ford Interceptor, many people feel uneasy, even if they didn't do anything wrong. And this is not some political or social justice rant. This is numbers. In the last 5 years, over 6,000 people were killed by U.S. law enforcement, many of which had it coming. But there were also 420 who were totally unarmed. That's hard to justify. Meanwhile, in Germany, in the same period, only 50 people were killed. There are many reasons for such a big difference, but the main two are these. The Second Amendment, which allows almost everyone to buy and carry a gun, and a short training time for becoming a police officer. Hell, I too would be on edge and trigger happy knowing that any citizen could be armed and knowing that I'm not properly prepared for this. Those are the facts. Those are the numbers. Many people fear police cars, and before this turns political, let's just move on.
Yep.
Number 3. If you see the GAZ-13 Chaika following you, it meant your family will probably never see you again. Why? Because this was the KGB car, the dreaded commie big brother that spied over every aspect of your life. If you talked to your brother who escaped to the West, jail. Wrote with your left hand, jail. Ripped Robinson Crusoe, jail. Made a joke about Stalin, straight to jail. Except jail is called the Gulag in this instance. It's in Siberia and will work you to death. Everyone dreaded the Chaika, even if you were in the party. Tomorrow you could be called a traitor or a Western spy, and then you'd know what's coming to you. A black and chrome GAZ with a burly 5.5-liter V8. Granted, the KGB was using other cars as well, like the smaller GAZ-21, but if they needed to snatch someone, they'd be using the spacious Chaika. And you have to love the hypocrisy of the commie regime. All men were supposedly equal, but only the select few could have this luxury car. That included high-ranking politicians, commie diplomats, and the Secret Service. As for the rest, they had to make do with a crappy 1.5-liter Moskvich. That's such bullshit. But don't you dare say that, or it'll be straight to jail. Number 2. Many cars get associated with the American Mafia, but none as much as the Lincoln Continental. The love between Dons and Cons lasted through many generations and many decades, but when you think about it, it shouldn't. Continentals are big, they're brash. They're the sort of cars that turn heads and announce that you just arrived, in style. A smart criminal would want to
Fucking hell.
blend in and go unnoticed, but I guess, what's the use of all that money if you can't enjoy it? Besides, money is power, and the Continental says, you have a lot of it. When the Mark II came out, it was the most expensive American car, rivaling. You have a lot of it. When the Mark II
I'm looking at this thing back here.
came out, it was
There's
the
just a
most
horse back there
expensive
as well.
American car, rivaling even the Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. And if the price alone doesn't intimidate, then the design surely will. I particularly like the 4th generation with its suicide doors, but later ones also have that power statement about them. Notable wise guys who own Continentals include Paul Castellano, Carlo Gambino, Richard the Iceman Kalinsky, and many others. Feel free to watch any gangster movies based on the real stories, and you'll see a Continental for sure. Of course it wasn't the Goodfellas. What I'm trying to say is, a mafia movie without it? Forget about it. Number 1. Remember the Chaika? Well, that was the baby bear. The grocer. That's the papa. It was the favorite car of countless psychopath dictators around the world, like Saddam Hussein, Marshal Tito, Ceausescu, Castro, Pol Pot, the Eyebrow Man, and nearly every bloodthirsty warlord in Africa. Together, they're responsible for millions upon millions of deaths, mostly their own citizens. So if you're thinking Mustangs or Porsches, Widowmakers are deadly, they don't even compare. When the grocer's passing, you better cheer it. Smile, wave. One wrong look, and straight to jail. But why this Merc? One out of Rolls or something. That's because this was the most expensive car that the world had ever seen. Never mind the supercars of the aforementioned Rollses, the grocer dwarfed them when it came to price. And there's no better way to propagate communist ideas.
At the time, in 65, how much was a DB5? Was only 13K in 1965. That was a lot of money back then, but holy shit. How much is an Aston Martin DB5 worth today? It went from $13,000 to $605,000 in January 7th, 2023. The average price of one is $1.3 million. Holy shit.
Price. And there's no better way to propagate communist ideas about equality than parading around in an impoverished country in the most expensive car in the world made by the capitalist West. Ironic. Another sinister aspect is the hydropneumatic system that operates at 3200 psi. It controls everything in the car, moves the seats, closes the doors, closes the windows. Imagine a window with 3200 psi force. That's enough to be used as a guillotine on the go. In short, if you were evil, this was your car. Jeremy Clarkson had one. And now, 3 more villainous cars.
Wow. No honorable mentions on this one, but this was fun to make. I mean, it was pretty fun to make, I'm going to be honest. That's it for the video. There's nothing more to it. Subscribe, like, comment, what I should react to next. I'll see you all in the next video.